Hi there, Quick Tacos here. Today I will be reviewing Hataraku Saibou or Cells at Work. Let's get right into it. Starting with section 1 with the facts, this anime has 13 episodes with 23 minutes in each. It was released in the summer of 2018 and it was produced by Aniplex, and the studio in charge was David Production. The original source for this anime was a manga series written and illustrated by Akane Shimizu. I tried to look up a picture of her, but I couldn't find any. It looks like Hataraku Saibou is one of her first works, but good for her because she got adapted to an anime. The manga has 5 volumes and 25 chapters. So far, it looks like it's still ongoing, but I couldn't find any information on this either. There is no OVA for this anime, but there is a special episode for this in addition to the parent series. Cells at Work is an informative and educational tale that talks about the inner workings of the human body. Red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets, and T cells are all personified to take on relatable jobs to deliver the message that our cells are working relentlessly hard to keep us protected every day. Alright, that's all I had for section 1. Let's move on to the categories. Alright, so we start with animation. Animation was pretty good but not amazing. The thing with the show was that they used a lot of speed lines whenever there was a lot of action or movement happening in the scene, which kind of lowered the delivery and the quality of the anime in general. To the experienced anime watcher, this will look like a cheap trick to make the scene more animated, but for those of you who don't give a crap, then there you go. The colors used to present the characters and the backgrounds were bright and rich. Character design was very diverse and creative. Custom artwork on the characters was unique, with the use of different tones of the same color for shading and the use of detail and thin drawing lines. The one thing that was absolutely amazing about this anime were the backgrounds. The architecture used in the backgrounds were breathtakingly detailed and communicated the industrial frenzy that is forever taking place inside the human body. Overall, the animation gets a 6 out of 10. Now soundtrack. Starting with the opening theme, the trumpets and the fast tempo of the song combined with the unharmonized singing voices gives it a comedic and almost childish tone, which evokes a happy vibe and communicates to the audience that this is a funny show. The name of the song is Mission by Kenko Daiichi. As for the ending, it was very cute, mellow, and happy. The piano and chimes really bring a joyful and pleasant mood. The song is Cheers by Claris. During the show, there were a lot of moments of high tension, which were emphasized with string orchestra. Transitions between moods were smooth and fit the scene pretty well. However, soundtrack wasn't amazing or mind-blowing, which is why it gets an 8 out of 10. Next we have voice acting. The main character in the anime is the red blood cell, but I will call her Red from now on. Red's voice acting is done by Kana Hanazawa. Her voice acting is really funny, very well acted in moments of high tension, and tone does fit fairly well with the clumsiness, although Red is not very clumsy at all. She just has a poor sense of direction. As for White Blood Cell's voice acting, who I will call White, is done by Tomoaki Maeno. Doesn't really reflect his personality 100% since the voice tone is deep and strong but reserved, even a little shy at times. And the character is not like this. The character is more forward and takes the issue into his own hands. The military voice acting made for the killer T-Cell was very good as well. It was tough and merciless, which fit the character pretty well. Lastly, the voice tone for the playlist was very cute and well delivered through their gestures and genuine intentions. Voice acting for supporting characters was just average. And the voice acting for the antagonist characters was almost the same tone for all of them. Voice acting gets a 7 out of 10. Next, we move to the characters. Red has a very emphasized bad sense of direction. She's very polite, happy, and optimistic. She's very friendly with everyone that she meets and has genuinely good intentions when doing her job. White is a kind-hearted guy who's always looking after everyone in the community. When it comes to doing his job, he will get his hands dirty and will get the job done right. Every depiction is pretty accurate when explaining what each cell actually does in the human body. Believe me, I have a biology degree. Each character was very energetic and had a strong sense of duty towards their function as a cell. Aside from the main repertoire of characters, the rest of the side characters didn't have a strong presence and felt disposable. Character development was pretty weak and there were no strong relationships forming between them, weakening the variety and personality richness that each character had. Lastly, the story introduced every character at least twice, but they didn't bother explaining who the people in the suits were, especially because they had such an important role during those crucial moments. With all that into account, characters get a 6 out of 10. And lastly, we have the story. In general, the anime doesn't really have a plot. Just a bunch of small stories to tell each episode. The show uses the cell's functions to tell these stories in an engaging, educational, and entertaining way. Each story is funny and has a very well-designed character for each. This is where the anime gets a very low score for the story because the characters is all that the story has. The story makes an effort in building a connection between Red and White, raising the curiosity as to how this would develop later in the anime. There is also an episode where T-Killer Cell and Memory T-Cell have a flashback moment when they were in training camp. Aside from that, there's not much to discuss in the story category, but if you don't care about a plot developing in each episode and would rather watch a series of stories while being educated and entertained in a funny way about how the human body works, then this is a wholesome and funny show for you to start watching. Taking all that into account, the story gets a 4 out of 10. Alright, that's all I had for section 2. Let's see the final score. Hataraku Saibou gets a 6.2 out of 10. This makes it a fine anime to watch. This will go into the comedy category. Bonus folk! During one of the flashback scenes, we can see girls training to become a T-cell. However, no other T-cell in the workforce has been a female so far. It begs the question, what happens to female T-cells when they grow up? We probably never know. Okay guys, that's all I had for this review. I hope you found it helpful. Thank you so much for watching. I know who you guys are. Thank you for all the support. I hope to see you in the next review. See ya.